What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. It's a great day to be the owner of some silver and gold, and it's also a great day to be buying the dip if you are an investor. Today, I wanted to talk about how silver and gold, and also the stock market, are all reacting to what's currently taking place, what's going on in the world. I want to share a tariff update and some of my thoughts on the current trade war that we are looking at right now. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for a bunch of videos, subscribe to my second channel for bonus videos, and follow me on social media at Mykie DYDSS on both X and Instagram. 4 super quick things I want to share before we fully dive into the video. Number 1, get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. We get the brand new It's a Great Day to Have a Great Day t-shirt and coffee mug. DYDSS store will be linked in the description. 2, if you haven't already, try out some Celsius Energy. That's right, it's a healthier alternative to the other energy drinks out there. You can get a 12-pack variety pack on Amazon right now. I will leave an affiliate link in the description so you can try out the different flavors. 3, if you're not already investing and you would like to start, make sure to download Webull and fund your account. They're going to give you some free stocks just for doing so, and they make it really easy for a new investor to start investing because of how simple it is to learn and navigate on the app. Webull link in the description. 4th and finally, if you need any silver or gold stacking supplies, whether it be airtight tubes and capsules, anti-tarnish paper, currency sleeves, mini lock boxes, microscopes, the list goes on, any and all prepping supplies or stacking supplies will be linked in the description for your convenience. Okay, so in today's video, we have to talk about what is going on. We have to talk about what is taking place. We have to talk about what is transpiring right before our eyes and how the markets are reacting to what's going on. So for those of you who have been living under a rock these last couple of weeks, or at this point, maybe the last month and a half, we are in the middle of a trade war, and it is taking a massive toll on the markets. We are down from recent highs almost 16%, and I'm talking about the stock market right now. We're going to get into the precious metals market in just one second, but let's get this out of the way. The S&P 500 year to date, so from January 1st to present day, and as I'm filming the video, it is Wednesday the 9th. This video is going to be coming out on Thursday the 10th, but we are currently down 15.93% as I'm filming this video. So let's call it about 16%. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what this means? Do you know what it means when you fall about 10% from recent highs? It's called a correction. A couple weeks ago, we were talking about how we are officially in correction territory. Well, guess what? Now that we are beyond 10%, making our way beyond 15%, almost 16%, we're very, very, very close to 20%, which by definition means we are very close to falling into a bear market. A bear market, by definition, is a decline of 20% or more from recent highs. A decline of 10% is a correction. A decline of 20% is a bear market. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a correction heading toward a bear market in rapid time. The stock market is tumbling right now. The stock market is struggling, suffering, bleeding right now for obvious reasons. Massive amounts of economic uncertainty, geopolitical conflict, everything taking place. We are in the middle of a trade war. We don't know exactly what the outcome is going to be or exactly how it's going to impact us in the short term or the long term. We don't know at this time. Nobody knows at this time, and the fact that nobody knows means that there is a heightened level of uncertainty. And as Warren Buffett says, when there is uncertainty, or technically his words, be greedy when others are fearful, aka right now, a lot of fear, and be fearful when others are greedy. No one's being greedy right now. Everybody's running for the hills and panic selling. But we also have to talk about how a different market is reacting to everything going on right now. See, the stock market's obviously struggling, but what about the silver? What about the gold? I mean, today alone, The spot price of silver, as I'm filming the video, is $30.26. It is up over 1.5% today alone, 1.58% today alone. April 9th, as I'm filming, coming out on April 10th. What about gold? What about the beautiful yellow metal? What is gold doing right now? How is gold performing? Gold is performing even better than silver, and silver's performing very well. Check it out. Today alone, $3,079.40, up almost 3.25%, just a hair below 3.25. Gold is currently up 3.24% on the day that I'm filming. So gold is doing very well. Silver is also doing very well today. Doesn't mean that the opposite can't be true tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe the precious metals will start to decline and the stock market will end up going up. You can't predict these things, but I think it's probably safe to assume that the stock market is going to continue to struggle in the short term, and the precious metals are definitely going to be performing very well in the short term. So let's talk about what's going on right now. What's causing this? Like today. What big news is coming? What big story is today? Well, obviously, we have tariffs versus retaliatory tariffs versus retaliatory tariffs versus retaliatory tariffs. This has been going on. But now, the retaliatory tariffs are getting a little bit bigger. So we know that the U.S. is imposing tariffs on Chinese goods coming into the U.S. Well, today, China imposed an 84% retaliatory tariff on the U.S. And then Donald Trump announced that he's imposing a 104% retaliatory tariff to their retaliatory tariff. And Europe is obviously jumping in as well, announcing today that they're going to be imposing a retaliatory tariff of somewhere between 10 and 25% hitting the U.S. So right now, it's like a game of ping pong. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And every time it goes one way or the other, people freak out. Every time the U.S. imposes, people freak out. Such and such country imposes, people freak out because they don't know what it means, because they don't know what it's going to cause, they don't know what it's going to do. None of us know. None of us can predict the future. None of us know for sure exactly what's going to happen or who's going to win this battle, who's going to win this trade war. If I had to make an educated guess here, I would say that the U.S. and these countries are going to make some kind of deal where no one looks like the loser. That's probably what this big fiasco is going to result in. A whole lot of nothing. If I had to guess, I think there's going to be a lot of bleeding in the short term. I think there's going to be a lot of pain, suffering, and fear and uncertainty and continued decline in the short term. And then I do believe it's going to be resolved by some kind of backroom deal where they come out on stage, they come out to the public and say, okay, hey, look, we made a deal. And then the public perceives it as, okay, we didn't win, but we didn't lose. I think the U.S. people are going to be looking at it that way. I think the Chinese people are going to be looking at it that way. I think Europeans are going to be looking at it that way. I think Canadians are going to be looking at it that way. I think that's how everybody's going to probably perceive it. And then we're going to go back to a somewhat normal market behavior. That's my honest opinion. That's what I think. I don't think anything is going to come from this in the long term. In the short term, yeah, I think it's going to be pretty chaotic. But as a result of this massive uncertainty and all of the fear and these tariffs and the trade war and this going on, that going on, not to mention we have other kind of wars going on in multiple parts of the world. We have a lot going on. We're getting hit from a lot of different angles. And as a result, there's a lot of fear. What comes with fear? People panic selling. And what do a lot of people do? Or I shouldn't say a lot of people. What do the big dogs do when they start to panic sell and liquidate some of their assets and sell off a portion of their portfolios. What do they do with the cash that they are withdrawing from the stock market during times of economic uncertainty and high levels of fear? Where do they park that cash a lot of the time? I'm talking about the big dogs. I'm not talking about the little retail investors. I'm not talking about the me's and the you's of the world. I'm talking about the big dogs, the ones who have tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. Where do they park some of that cash? Where do they park some of that currency? Where do they put those fake fiat glorified IOU debt note dollar bills? I'll give you a clue. They don't keep it as cash. Because sure, the stock market might be struggling in the short term, but the dollar bill is on its deathbed, and they understand that. So no, they don't sell off a portion of their portfolios and just hang on to the cash just for the sake of saving cash. No, they park those dollar bills into another asset class. And what would that asset class be, you might ask? Just so happens to be, frequently, gold. Silver as well. But when we're talking about the big dogs who have ungodly amounts of cash, a lot of the time they'll park it in gold. A lot of which is paper gold, a lot of which is also physical gold. They put those dollar bills, they put that value into gold to store the value, to preserve the wealth, and to hedge against inflation, and to protect themselves from the market taking a hit from all of the economic uncertainty. And I think we can see, just by looking at the market right now, I think we can see, knowing that the stock market is down about 0.25% today, maybe even more, down almost 16% year to date. Meanwhile, silver today alone is up over 1.5%. Gold is up almost 3.25% on the day so far. And that's not just a today thing. The stock market this entire year has been seeing far more red than green. Precious metals have been seeing far more green than red. Sure, of course they have, days where the opposite is true, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about what's been going on in recent weeks. Silver and gold specifically. Yeah, we know what's going on with the stock market. Everything's, on a decline right now, and we are approaching a bear market. But you know what we're seeing when it comes to silver and gold? I mean, gold specifically recently hit a new all-time high. Shortly after that, it hit a new all-time high. And after that, it hit a new all-time high. I think there was one week, just a couple of weeks ago, where gold hit like 3 or 4 new all-time highs in 1 week alone. Silver, no, it's not approaching a new all-time high, but it hit a 12-year high. So the precious metals are doing very, very well. And oftentimes you'll see this. This is normal during times of economic uncertainty. See, the funny thing about precious metals is that bad news is good news for the silver and the gold. Oftentimes. Most of the time. Almost all of the time. Bad news is good news for the silver and the gold. When CPI reports come out and we see that we're in a period of high inflation, a lot of the time that's good for silver and gold. The dollar bill getting weaker as time goes by is good news for the silver and the gold. The precious metals do well when everything else is struggling, when everything else is suffering, when everything else is bleeding out, when everything else is on a decline. That's when you'll typically notice the silver and gold do very well. But on the flip side, the opposite is true as well. Good news for the precious metals is typically bad news. When the economy is getting back on track, when unemployment's going down, when jobs are being created, when the economy is booming, when the stock market is soaring, you'll notice that the silver and gold are lagging behind. And not just lagging behind, but lagging behind by a lot and underperforming massively compared to the stock market, compared to real estate, compared to businesses. You'll notice this. And the reason for that is because when times are good, when everybody's doing well, when more money than ever is being made, there's less of a need for people to have a safe haven. They're not looking for protection at that moment. They're not looking for safety. They're not looking for financial defense. They want to build and grow and expand and go up. They don't want to take that cash out of the investments, which are growing at a rapid pace. They're not looking to do that because why would they miss out on that capital appreciation? No, when we're nosediving, that's when they take the cash out and park it somewhere perceived as way more safe. That's what people use the silver and the gold for. Mostly gold, but also silver as well. And when I say people, I'm talking about the big dogs. I'm talking about like the wealthiest of the wealthy people. They take value out of the stock market before they lose value, and they park it into something notorious for storing value and protecting value and preserving value. That's what people use the silver and the gold for, and that's exactly what we're looking at today. That's exactly what we've been looking at pretty much this entire year so far. The stock market on a pretty steady decline year to date, 4 months of red almost, and the precious metals have been doing very well. Precious metals have been up more often than they've been down, especially these last couple weeks or the last month or so. The precious metals have been doing extremely well. Because what have we been getting these last couple weeks or the last month or so? We've been getting a lot of bad news. We've been getting a lot of fearful news. We've been getting a lot of intimidating news. We've been getting a lot of concerning, alarming news. And like I said before, bad news for the precious metals is usually good news. So if you are somebody that has been stacking the silver and the gold, especially if you're someone that started stacking several years ago, where you were able to get silver for $16, $17, $18 an ounce, maybe you were able to get gold at $1,800, $1,900, $2,000 an ounce. You're probably sitting pretty right now knowing that your silver is up from the teen range to now $30 and change. You're probably sitting pretty right now knowing that your gold that you acquired at $1,800, $1,900, $2,000 is now over $3,000 per troy ounce. You're probably sitting pretty right now. And guess what? If you just recently started stacking and you're not seeing those gains just yet, give it time. Just be patient. My entire first year of stacking silver, spot price was on a steady decline that entire year. First piece of silver I picked up, spot price was $17 and change. The second time I picked up silver, it was about $16.75. The time after that, it was about $16.50. Then $16.25. And sure enough, obviously I kept buying and buying and buying and buying more, but it went from $17 down to $16, down to $15, down to $14. Did that discourage me? No. I wasn't seeing capital appreciation. I was seeing capital depreciation. The spot price was declining. And that was good news for me. Why was this? Because I was able to acquire more for a smaller dollar amount. See, I like when prices go down. I'm loving the stock market right now. Reason for that is because I can get more for my cash. Regardless of which asset class you are primarily focused on right now, let's stick to the silver and the gold. When spot price is down, that means you can get more silver for your cash, or the same amount of silver for a smaller amount of cash. I like that. As someone 7 years ago who had just got started stacking, that was good news for me. I remember saying to myself, this is fantastic. Every time I buy more, it's cheaper than it was last time. Every time the price gets a little bit lower and it gets a little bit better for me. I benefit from that. And guess what? 7 years later, after I aggressively stacked silver the entire year of 2018, the entire year of 2019, and the first half of 2020, in the middle of 2020 is when I kind of started pumping the brakes a little bit and I started focusing on investing rather than stacking, because I realized, I was like, you know what? I'm young and I don't really have a whole lot of wealth to preserve just yet. Maybe it's more intelligent for me at this time to be building wealth, growing wealth, and making money, so that when the ball's on the, or when the ball's on somebody else's side of the court. Financial offense versus financial defense. The ball's in their court now, no longer in my court. Okay, maybe it's time to shift to a financial defense strategy rather than a financial offense strategy. See, when I have the ball and I'm playing offense, that means I'm buying and building wealth and growing wealth and focusing on investing my dollars. When the ball is in their court, it means that it's time to be strategic, defensive, and focus on stacking, converting my dollars into silver and gold. Right now, I think it's a better time for me to be investing, but I am stacking as well. See, I never completely stopped either one. I'll never stop investing and I will never stop stacking. Just depending on what's going on in the world and what the markets are doing, one makes more sense than the other. That's the way it's always going to be. So whichever one is in my favor, whichever one is in the red, is the one that I will primarily be focused on. The one that's in the green, I'll still keep adding, I'll still keep dollar cost averaging, but it's not going to be my primary focus. It's not going to be that main focal point. But that's what I did the entire year of 2018, the entire year of 2019, and the first half of 2020. And prices were so low back then, if I had to guess, and this counts, I continued stacking silver beyond those prices. When silver was in the mid-20s and when it hit $30, I mean, I just got silver just a couple of days ago when the spot price was about $33. This includes buying at higher prices. My average cost on silver is somewhere between $18 and $20 if I had to guess. I don't have the exact number, but I got so much silver when the spot price was $14, $15 and the premiums were like almost non-existent back then, $1.50 over spot. Premium included. My average cost is probably about $18 or $19. It's probably under $20. Actually, it's for sure under $20. And I'm sitting pretty right now, knowing that my average cost is, let's just call it about $19. The spot price is currently $30 and change. It's just recently $35 at a 12-year high. That's a fantastic time to know that I spent years acquiring as much silver as I possibly could. And by the way, the same goes for gold. I think the spot price when I got a majority of my gold was between maybe $1,300 and $1,800. That's when I got most of my gold, between $1,300 and $1,800. Spot price today is over $3,000 a troy ounce. So if you look at it from a currency measured perspective, I have essentially, or just about, doubled the amount of cash that I put into the silver and gold is now worth double. Coincidentally, the dollar bill alone has lost probably half of its purchasing power since then, so it kind of evens itself out. Like I said, it's a store of value and it's a hedge against inflation. It's a way of protecting purchasing power. I would say that the silver and gold have done their job very well for me. And that's because you have to look at it from a long-term point of view. You can't look at what's going on these last couple of weeks or the last 6 months or the last 12 months. You have to look at it through a different lens. And you have to be involved for a longer period of time. If you're just now stepping in, or you recently started stepping in, or you started stacking the silver and the gold within the last year, it's not really like a fair assessment to look at how the last 365 days have gone and what the spot price is today versus when you started. I don't think a year is really a good way to look at it. I think you got to look at it from a 5-year angle, maybe a 10-year angle. I mean, look at me. For me, it's been a little over 7 years. You have to look at it long term. You can't look at what's going on today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. You can't look at it like that. You have to zoom out even further. But I think the silver and gold have done a pretty good job. And I think the silver and gold have served me pretty well. And I think that the silver and gold have pretty much done exactly what I wanted them to do. all I wanted the silver and gold to do was protect purchasing power. I wanted it to be kind of like a physical at-home savings account, but a safer version of a savings account. See, a savings account, yeah, it pays you a little bit of interest, but the dollar bill falls at a much faster rate than that interest rate can gain for you. So that's never really a great idea. A savings account is good if you're saving up for a purchase, but it's not a good place to park your cash to save it for years and years and years and years on end. I think most of us probably understand that at this point. So the silver and gold, that's what I was using them for. I was not looking at the silver and gold as an investment vehicle. I was not looking to put my dollar bills into physical silver and gold for that capital appreciation, because I knew and understood that typically silver and gold capital appreciation, those capital gains, is usually a very close mirror image of the dollar bill's depreciation, the dollar bill's capital loss. See, if the dollar falls by 15% over a couple of years, odds are the silver and gold are probably up by close to 15% in that same time frame. See, that's what I used it for. It's not about making money with silver and gold. It's merely about saving and protecting money. If you want to make money, if you're looking for those like actual true capital gains and growth of wealth, building wealth, you have to invest your dollars. You're not going to get rich off of silver and gold. You might be protected with silver and gold, but you're not going to really go full throttle. It's not like an action plan. It's a defense plan. If you're looking to build, grow wealth, and make money, you need to invest your dollars. You need to buy high quality assets at low prices. And funny enough, if you're following me on X, which by the way, if you're not, you should be, I post a lot of things on X. And one thing that I posted this morning, actually, I posted an emergency market crash action plan. And it can be summed up in just a couple of words. Continue buying in as usual and keep living life. You don't have to do anything different. You don't have to change up your plan or change up your strategy or do anything unusual or out of the ordinary. You just keep buying in and lower your average cost. Whatever is in the red, whether it be the precious metals, you could buy a little bit more and lower your average cost. Whether it be the stock market or whether it be something else, buy in, lower your average cost. When a market goes back up, because it will, the stock market has a 100% recovery rate. We have recovered from every correction, every bear market, and every crash we have ever seen. Which is why I typically prefer to buy into broad market index funds. I don't have to worry about a fantastic company and a fantastic stock getting butchered by poor management. It could be the best company in the world that ends up dying or has the potential to become the best company in the world. Get slaughtered by poor management. I don't have to worry about that. Broad market index funds. These things have 100 different companies in them, 500 different companies in them, 1,000 different companies in them, all in one basket. I don't have to do anything. It's the most hands-off passive approach ever. And I like it. And it served me very well over the last 5 years. That's the approach that you need to take during times like this. Regardless of the asset class that you're focused on, whether it be business, stocks, real estate, precious metals, whatever it is, whatever your focus is at this time, the smartest thing you could probably be doing right now is exactly what you've been doing for however long you've been doing it. Continue to buy more, regardless of the price, regardless of what's going on. If you are investing, the smartest thing to do is to continue investing. Everything is, or the market is currently almost 16% off from where it was to start the year. That's a huge discount. If you are interested in silver and gold, whether it be for long-term wealth preservation purposes, or if it's just more of a hobby, if you're a coin collector or you're just fascinated by the coins, rounds, and bars, kind of like where I'm at, yeah, of course it's for long-term wealth preservation purposes, but it's also a hobby of mine. It's something that I think is fun. It's something that I think is interesting. I wouldn't be making these videos all the time, sometimes even twice a day, and live streaming about them if I wasn't extremely interested in them and didn't thoroughly enjoy talking about them. this is a hobby of mine. I enjoy it. It's fun for me. I think it's cool, which is why I do it. So if you're in the same boat as me and you just genuinely like silver and gold, why not get more? If that's part of the plan, part of the action plan, if it's for the long term, and you're genuinely interested in it, why not get more? Regardless of the asset class of your choosing, why not get more? Especially, why not get more when one's in the red? See, that's just how I see it. But I need you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know, what are your thoughts on everything going on right now? What do you think the end result of this trade war we're looking at is going to be? Think it's going to be a win for us? Do you think it's going to be a loss for us? Do you kind of have the same opinion or prediction as me, where like the US and all these other countries are going to end up just making a deal so no one really loses face? That's my prediction. Let me know in the comment section down below anything and everything related to today's video topic. If you guys liked today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, subscribe to my second channel for bonus videos, and follow me on social media at Mykie DYDSS across all platforms. Now, really quick, 4 fast things before we wrap up the video. Number 1, get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. We have the brand new It's a Great Day to Have a Great Day t-shirt and coffee mug. DYDSS store will be linked in the description. 2, if you haven't already, try out some Celsius Energy. That's right, it's a healthier alternative to the other energy drinks out there. You can get a 12-pack variety pack on Amazon right now. I will leave an affiliate link in the description so you can try out the different flavors. 3, if you're not already investing and you would like to start, make sure to download Webull and fund your account. They're going to give you some free stocks just for doing so. And they make it really simple and easy for a new investor to start investing because of how simple and easy it is to learn and navigate on the app. Webull link in the description. 4th and finally, if you need any silver or gold stacking supplies, whether it be airtight tubes and capsules, anti-tarnish paper, currency sleeves, mini lock boxes, microscopes, the list goes on. Any and all stacking supplies and any and all prepping supplies will be linked in the description for your convenience. Once again, head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. What are your thoughts on the current trade war that we're in? Do you think that it's going to result in being a win for us? Do you think it's going to end up being a loss for us? Or do you think it's going to really turn out to be a whole lot of nothing? A whole lot of chaos for really no reason at all, and it's going to end up not being a win or a loss? That's how I feel. Let me know how you feel in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.